Greetings, everyone. I hope you are fine. I hope you are doing well. And I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate those who have subscribed to this channel, those who are liking, sharing, and those who continue to view our content. Thank you very much, because the purpose of this channel is to educate Africans, especially when it comes to history, politics, business, and in general, the way Africans do things. We may not always agree when it comes to different topics, but we have to agree upon one thing, that you have to believe in yourself, or you have to believe upon yourself. So in order for you to successfully do so, history will be important. That is why I always say history is very important, so that an African child can have that confidence. So without any waste of time, in this video, I just want us to talk about the new president of the Kingdom of Botswana, or the Republic of Botswana. Duma Boko is the new president right now. He seems to be zealous, courageous, or determined. But before I can give you my perspective about everything, I just want us to hear what he had to say.
History does not offer us any blueprints. History offers us counsel and examples of how to do things and how perhaps not to do them. So those who think we go to history and we find some system complete, we call it capitalism. We bring it and we apply it. Or we find some system complete, socialism. They're wrong, plain and simple. We have to identify solutions, sometimes brew them here, that work for our context. It is important for us to appreciate this, so that our competition is not about plundering the library to find what Karl Marx says in Das Kapital Volume 3, or what Lenin says in What Is to Be Done. No, we read these because, as the authors themselves said, these are but guides to action, not dogma.
I would like to slightly agree with him when it comes to these zims: socialism, fascism, totalitarianism, communism, nationalism, and many other systems. So we have to understand that the people who created these systems, they had the intentions of solving certain problems in different countries. So in other words, when it comes to maybe your problems or your country, one zim, which is capitalism or maybe socialism or communism, may not be a solution for all of your problems. In other words, it cannot fit like a glove all the time, as it does maybe in other countries. So I just want to agree with him that we have problems that we have to solve. We have problems that we have to solve. In other words, sometimes you might have a solution that can solve problem number 1 and problem number 2, but the very same solution might not be able to solve problem number 3 and problem number 4, or maybe problem number 5 or problem number 6. And the other solution that you have might solve problem number 7 and problem number 8, but might not be able to solve problem number 9 or problem number 10. So this is what we need to understand. We have to focus on problem solving. So in other words, if we say, when it comes to this problem, what if we adopt this system, or what if we adopt this method, or what if we use this solution? Because the solution that we may use in certain problems might not be a solution to all of our problems. So this is what I've been saying all the time, that we have to focus on problem solving. So in other words, if you have a problem of poverty, what solution can you use? If you have a problem of high prices of food, what is a solution that you can apply? If you have a problem of unemployment, what are you doing? What is a solution? So in other words, we have to focus on the problems that we are having. And then when you see that now we have identified all these problems, then let us come up with solutions, the solutions that will fit like a glove. So instead of like we go for all these socialism, capitalism, and etc. and etc. Sometimes these systems might not might not solve our problems to the fullest. But you can adopt something from socialism, what is good from socialism or what is appropriate at that point in time. You can appoint something again from maybe communism or maybe capitalism, which is suitable for your problem at that particular period in time. So I agree with him when it comes to this one. So he seems to be very zealous. So the other thing that I just want to talk about is democracy. So when it comes to this thing of democracy, because now there are many people who are like, Botswana has chosen democracy and etc. and etc. So we have to understand that we have a Western type of democracy. So sometimes when we use dictionaries and explanations and definitions and etc., then it seems as if democracy is freedom. But we have to understand that Western democracy is completely different, because even if you are free, you're not free to oppress somebody else. You should not be free to change the lifestyle of somebody else. You should not be free to change the nature of people, the way people do things. In other words, you should not be free to change a natural way of doing things. That's not freedom at all. But this Western democracy is a system to oppress people, to divide Africans, to confuse Africans, to make Africans to fight against one another. So in a process of you fighting against one another, then they put their hands on the minerals, because at the end of the day is their interest. So in other words, when it comes to democracy, the only democracy that I will support is the democracy that doesn't change the minds of the people, that doesn't destroy families, that doesn't like cause confusion.
So the dogmatic approach to thinking, this is socialism, this is capitalism, and so this one is socialist, this one is capitalist. We are all here. And if you want to label me at any point in ideological terms, I belong to the social innovation movement. I want to create, I want to reimagine. And that Italian philosopher Giambattista Vico says we can reimagine society because we created it. Society is an artifact. We create things and then we become prisoners and we think they can't be changed. We change them. Then we can change them any which way, depending on whether it works for us, works for our people. And it need not be the same thing that anybody else is doing. This is the problem that the BDP faces. What they inherited, they can only tinker with at the margins. No, we want solutions that work for our people, for our country. And when we get into this terrain, you realize you must approach it with an open mind. There are no blueprints. We will sit, we will quarrel over things, and we will resolve them. We will strike compromises here and there, and we will proceed. When we realize this is not the right way, we will change course. This is what politics is about. It's not that narrow understanding, either reformist or revolutionary, meaning whole saying something totally different and complete. Politics is more dynamic, more interesting, more engaging, and we need to rescue politics from this caricature that it has been placed in. So this is the platform, and so it means none of us hold the wisdom. All of us must find the wisdom. And when we approach the task of finding that wisdom, that truth, we are all humble seekers after the truth. All of us. How can we not be humble when we are seeking after the truth? This is the whole idea.
The other thing that I would like to say is that in the process of solving the problems in your country, you have to be honest, loyal, accountable. In other words, you have to be loyal to the people, because we have to understand that at the end of the day, it's not about the president. It's not about the leaders. It's not about the politicians. It's not even about politics, but it's about the people. So every time when we come up with solutions, we have to try by all means that we come up with solutions that will be suitable for people, not solutions that will divide people, not solutions that will oppress people. But I just want to say there are 3 countries that have set up a standard right now for all African countries. For an example, is Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So those countries have set up a standard. So every person who becomes a leader in any of the countries in Africa, that president or that leader has a challenge already, because you have to meet the standard. You have to meet the standard. In other words, if you are going to make the changes, you have to make the changes, and the changes that will benefit the people. Why I say this is because we know it's a fact that the presidents of Africa, they have this thing of like promising, but when it's time for them to deliver, they forget about deliverance. They fail to deliver. They start focusing on other things. They start compromising. That is why I don't like a word compromise, because sometimes it can be used where you compromise the riches of your country in order to benefit the outsiders. You compromise the families in your country in order to benefit other people. So it should not be like that. So if the leaders of Africa wants to promote their countries or to put their countries on another level to bring changes, they have to look up to what Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali has achieved so far, because those countries right now, as we speak, they are working and they are fighting against the system. So to us, or to some of us Africans, you cannot be a successful leader until you have successfully dealt or fought against the system that is oppressing Africans, or the system that was made to oppress Africans. That's the most important thing. That is why I'm not a fan of people who like these systems that were created by the outsiders in order to divide Africans, in order to oppress Africans. So I don't like those systems at all. So whenever we say now we want to bring changes, we have to make sure we bring those changes without any compromise. So if we have to compromise, we have to compromise amongst ourselves, but not to compromise in order to benefit the outsiders or the system that is created to oppress the people. So I just want to encourage African leaders to look up to what Burkina Faso, Niger, and those countries have achieved so far, because those people are pushing hard in order to deal with the system. But now, in the name of democracy, because the preachers of democracy are like, if you are democratic, in other words, you have to be soft, you have to be polite all the time. This is where I disagree with the system of democracy, because you have to compromise all the time until you become a sellout. As I come to the end of this video, I would like to say, feel free to put your comments so that we can know, what do you think? What is in your mind about the new president of the Kingdom of Botswana? Is he a right candidate? Is he a right leader? So what is your perception?